Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. With the conclusion of the Chapter 6 finale, I decided to look back and rank every single live event across Fortnite history from worst to best. As always, this list is my own opinion, so if you think something should be a little higher, a little lower, leave a comment down below. I'm really interested to see what you guys think. Also, just quickly, I wanted to thank everybody so much for all the support on the last video. It really means the world to me. I truly cannot thank you all enough. But now we've got all that out of the way, let's get straight into the ranking. Alright, just to clear some things up, mini events will not be included on this list. It just felt a little bit unfair to compare them to the larger events. Alright, so that basically just means no Pandora's Box, no Season 8 Vault Runes, no Remix Preludes. Hey, and talking about Remix Prelude, concerts will be included on the list, but they will have to have taken place on the island. That basically just means stuff like the UAFN Metallica concert won't be on the ranking, but things like the Rift Tour will. Alright, and starting off at the number 21 spot, entering into the common section will be the Ice King live event. Now, I almost put this with all the other mini events. It was such an underwhelming event, but no, I went back, I checked, it had like a whole week build up, all the TVs on the island had a countdown on it, and honestly, for being the main event of the season, you know it's going to be a stinker when there's another event, and it was better than it. Hey listen, most of the time, for a lot of my picks, I'm like always worried I'm going to get some people jumping down my throat for this, but there is literally no way you can defend this event. I mean, how did the event go? The Ice King made like a huge projection of himself and turned the entire island into snow. Now see, that would have been cool if it didn't happen literally a month before this for Christmas Day. Like, all of the spectacle of the island being covered in snow had already been done. What was the point? I think it is potentially the worst live event we've ever had. It was barely a live event, and that's why it's ended up at the number 21 spot. But following that one up, at the number 20 spot, you were probably expecting this one to be last. It's the Chapter 3 finale, Fracture. I have not seen a live event get disrespected as much as this one has. Seriously, I am still hearing its name get dragged through the mud. I mean, what was it like? Almost 40 minutes of just walking around and collecting orbs? For a live event, especially the end of a chapter. And I'm going to say the rest of the end of chapter events, they are way up this list because they are all just that good. I'm sorry, this one really is just absolutely miserable. If you could summarize this event down into like a single phrase, it would have been, this literally could have just been a cutscene. But yeah, no, I'm sorry, this event was an absolute stinker. I better not see anyone in the comments defending this one. Alright, and now we're heading into the uncommon rarity, and at the number 19 spot, we have the Marshmallow concert from Season 7. Now listen, do I think this is a bad live event? By no means, absolutely not. I think this is a perfectly serviceable live event. But what it was, at the time, it was pretty good, but it's just been outdone by other concerts, some coming up very soon on this list. But like a lot of events in Chapter 1, it was just very simple, and that's just how the game was. But when you're comparing it to something like, I don't know, Collision or 0 Hour, it just kind of falls down the list. Listen, I think it was okay, but yeah, no, I'm sorry, there's just been better events. And coming in at number 18, we're going to actually merge two little events together because I feel it's just one, like, long event. And those events are the Kevin the Cube spawning event and the Kevin the Cube melting event. Wait. I know people are going to flame me for this, putting it so low, but when you look at it without the rose-tinted glasses on, is it really that good of an event? Obviously, back in the day, this was huge. Everyone you knew was talking about it, but we're not ranking them on the effect it left. We're ranking them on just as they are. Like looking at them from an objective standpoint, and this one didn't do very much. Like, yeah, sure, all the build up with the lightning and then the cube rolling around, that was cool, but honestly, yeah, like most early Chapter 1 events, it was just a little bit too simple. Like I said with the Marshmallow one, there's just been better events. So yeah, that's why it's ended up at number 18. Alright, and coming up at number 17 is the Rocket event. I will not deny this was a really cool event. Hey, now listen, I think this is the part of the list where things actually start getting good. I don't think there is a single bad event past this point. But yeah, with the Blast Off event, it was actually quite a cool event. Obviously, I got to replay it in Fortnite OG just recently. I mean, you gotta give this one props for being the first live event in Fortnite history. I mean, nobody had ever tried something like this before. Epic Games was like one of the first people to try this on such a large scale, especially in one of the most popular seasons of all time. So, do I think this is cool? Yes. Do I think this was revolutionary? Yes. But honestly, like I've been saying for the last few like events I've ranked on this list, it just falls to the early Chapter 1 curse of them not really having their footing yet. It just felt a little bit too simple. And I think there's two events involving rocket launch coming up on this list that I think blow this event out of the water with what they do. Okay, and coming up at the number 16 spot will be the Fortnite Ariana Grande concert, the Rift Tour. Now, yes, I know I put this ahead of one of the Holy Grail OG events, but seriously, if you go back and revisit this concert, I think it is one of the most stunning looking events we have had in Fortnite history. I mean, this event looks so good. It's so good. I mean, plus you have the whole factor that it was actually tying into the lore at the time. I believe it was the alien season. They abducted us to read our minds. Now, listen, am I the biggest fan of Ariana Grande? No, I don't really listen to her songs. But do I think she's a talented artist? Yes. And of course, that's going to affect where it ends up in the ranking. Were the songs good? And yes, I think they were a really good choice. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was just a concert, and I can't really rank it too high on this list. Alright, and coming into rare tier, we're finally getting into the juicy events, the ones I consider actually fully good, the ones I would love to go back to. And coming up on this one, we've literally just re-experienced it in OG actually. It is the Cube Explosion event from Season 6. I think this was a really good event. I mean, obviously you had the absolutely insane visual of the, I believe it's called the In-Between, you know, that little weird like white space you went into after the cube exploded. I mean, that was such a cool visual. But yeah, no, I mean, this event literally had a season's worth of build-up. Like, the cube going all around, collecting energy, and then breaking apart in Fortnite mares. Seriously, there has never been an event in Fortnite history that has had this thorough of a build-up. Yeah, honestly, it was a really cool event, especially for the time, you know? You'd only just gotten off, like, what, the Rocket event? That was only a couple of months before this happened. It was an insane step up for Fortnite events. It was just a generally good live event. And following that one up is the Big Bang. Now, I have my issues with the Big Bang, mainly being that it was basically just an ad for the metaverse. I feel in this event, obviously because they started off with like a modified version of the end event, they really just wanted to like rush through it just so they could get to like advertising all these new mods. It just kind of felt rushed. I mean, you had that insane visual. I'm going to be bringing up the visuals a lot because obviously if you have an ugly ass event, it's going to absolutely ruin the whole experience. But no, honestly, this event did a really good job of looking pretty. I mean, that shot, that final shot, everybody used. Listen, there's plenty you can fault about this event, but if there's one thing you can't fault it for, it was nice looking. Honestly, for what it was, which was basically making 14 million people sit down and watch an advertisement, it did its job really well. Okay, and at the number 13 spot, we have Travis Scott's Astronomical. Now listen, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, which was the controversy that happened in 2021 with Travis Scott at another one of his concerts. This event's name has kind of been tarnished by that incident, but if you kind of separate all of that from this one, it was a pretty cool event. For a while, it was the king of concerts until 2024. It's going to be coming up literally at number 12, but I definitely think Fortnite has done a better concert than this one. I mean, it had the teasing of the Storm Water Wall with the whole swimming mechanic. People were like theorizing mad on it, like they couldn't have surely created that for a single live event. Sure enough, they didn't. It showed up a little bit later. At the time, this was the best live event Fortnite had ever put out. But listen, I kind of like my events to have something to do with the story, and this had absolutely nothing to do with the story, so it got marks knocked off for that. It's at the absolute midpoint of the list. I do not really think anything negative or positive about this event. Okay, and coming up at the number 12 spot is Remix the Finale. Now this is a concert. This is my favorite concert of all time. I mean, you had obviously Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Ice Spice, and Juice WRLD. It was a beautiful tribute to Juice WRLD. It was an amazing concert for everybody else. Maybe not Ice Spice. Honestly, I just think it was a pretty decent event. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. They obviously had the bit at the start, which was kind of like the device, which will be coming up very shortly on this list. I mean, you had some insane visual effects, like the whole Eminem concert with like the little, I don't know, was it like comic panels? Is that how you call them? And of course, you had like the Juice WRLD section, beautiful tribute, as I've already mentioned. You turned into a butterfly, you like hung over the map. You got to look at it one last time before Remix ended. I just want to say Remix is one of my favorite seasons of all time. If you want to see how I rank them, I'll put a little title card up in the corner. Go check it out when you have the time. But no, honestly, I think this was a really good event. Okay, and coming up at the number 11 spot, we have the Unvaulting event from Season 8. Now listen, some people are going to get really angry at me in the comments, and they're going to be like, what do you mean? This was a really cool event. I'm just going to say a single sentence that half of this community will understand and the other half will not. and it will explain why it's ended up so low down on this list. I own the Arcana glider. Okay, let's just talk about the event first. We're going to talk all about the issues it had later on, but the event itself, it was really cool. I mean, yeah, it was obviously rigged. Come on. I mean, what, you were putting the drum gun against bounce pads? Yeah, it was okay, but honestly, the real meat and potatoes of this event wasn't in the unbolting part, even though that's what it was named after. It was the volcano launch after. I have never been more shocked in my entire life than when I saw those volcano boulders all come down and annihilate Tilted Towers. Nobody thought it would happen. It was almost a running gag in Chapter 1 that Tilted Towers was going to get destroyed because people just didn't think it could ever happen. It was so cool. But there was an issue with the event itself, and that's the fact that half of the people who loaded in to watch it, where the event just didn't begin. I was one of those people. I was there waiting on call with one of my friends at the time. We waited there for almost an hour hoping something would happen. It was one of the most devastating moments in my entire life, and I'm sorry, I had to hold it down for that one. Okay, and now we're in the top 10. Coming into epic rarity, we have Death Star Sabotage from Galactic Battle. Now, say what you want to say about that season. This event slapped. It was so cool. Now, I'm biased as a major Star Wars fan. I love the films, and this was so cool, especially that like visual of like gliding down, the thing's just about to shoot, and then it just explodes. It was so beautiful. This was a really good live event. I was not expecting them to go full on for a mini event season. After an almost 2-year drought, remember Chapter 4 and 5 didn't have any major events. Getting a full event like this was so cool. It was so cool. And following this one up, we have the Device live event. Now, this was a cool event. Obviously, it did have issues, same as most early events. So many people were logging onto this that people were actually being kicked from the game. I remember my friend who I was on call with was affected by this. But no, this event was really cool. I mean, you're going to talk about everything going on. The music, absolutely beautiful music. I mean, I had the music from this event as my lobby track for, I think it was way until like Chapter 3. Obviously, it had like the fake out where it sent you back into the Team Rumble match, and then it cut instantly back into like the first person section. That's another thing, actually. This was the first time we saw a first person in Fortnite history. I mean, you can draw a line of lineage from this event to Fortnite Ballistic, and I think that's really cool, to be honest. I think this is just a really good event. It's one of the GOATs. It's one of the GOATs. We're heading into really good territory right now. And following that one up, we have the Galactus live event. Now, oh my god, when I tell you this event was fun. Now listen, I think this is the best they have done an interactive live event. Now, I prefer live events where you kind of just sit back, it's kind of spectacle, things happen around you. But if you're going to do an interactive live event, this is what you should try and do. And clearly it was such a go-to event because I heard they used this event to train people on what Galactus should be like for the new Fantastic Four film. And I think that is so cool that a Fortnite event directly inspired a full blockbuster live action film. I mean, you had going into the arms with like it was kind of like the Death Star trench run. I mean, it had like the little minigame where you tried not to get hit, you get a victory royale. That was pretty cool. Nice little detail. They didn't have to do it, but they did. You had like AC/DC playing, and it was so cool. All right, and now we're leaving Epic and we're heading into Legendary. And I might get flamed for the one I've put ahead of the Galactus event. It is Chapter 2, Season 6's Zero Crisis Finale. Now, this is one of the coolest events of all time, if you include the cutscene at the beginning as part of the event. Now, yeah, I think the main part of this event is a little bit mid. It's just basically walking around and sealing up portals until that, like, cool bit at the end, where the music swells. It's such a beautiful piece of music. I'll play a little section of it for you now. Yeah, but no, honestly, for the most part, the event is just kind of a little bit mid, but that cutscene at the beginning, the opening cutscene, is so cool. I go and rewatch this one so often. It's just such a cool little cinematic. I love it. Honestly, yeah, you could definitely swap this and the Galactus event around, but I just like this one a tiny bit more. All right, and talking about cool, coming up at the number 6 spot, we have Catus versus Dogus, also known as the final showdown. Now, technically, this is the first live event I ever got to actually see. I'm still upset about the Season 8 Unvaulting event. No, this event is by far one of the coolest in Fortnite history. Now, it's the kind of event that I like, where it's spectacle happening around you instead of you causing it to happen. I mean, obviously, you had the whole build-up where the Polar Peak monster was revealed, you had the robot being built, and then you had them just clash in a battle of titans. And can we just speak about that final shot where he just slows down and he stabs it through the skull? So cool! Was this event mostly just hype moments and aura? Yes. Is it good? Yes. Such a fantastic live event. I love it so much. Okay, and now we're heading into the top 5 on this list, and starting that off is Operation Skyfire. Now this was a really cool live event. Even if the aftermath of the event wasn't exactly as equal as what we saw in the event, can we just say this was such a cool live event? I mean, of course, there was the return of the cube. That is potentially one of the most spine-chilling moments in Fortnite history, just seeing it slowly rise back out of the water. It was so cool. I mean, of course, you had like the revival of Kevin the Cube, you had all the other cubes lighting up, revealing. That was a cool moment as well. This event had so many cool moments in it. That's why it's ended up all the way up here. And honestly, I think there's only 2 more events in this list that end on a nicer looking shot. Undeniably, it was such a good event. And that's why it's kicked off on number 5. Hey, but following that one up at number 4 is Collision. Now, this was an event where you actually piloted the mech that I mentioned prior in the Final Showdown live event. And wow, was it cool. You got to like pilot like guns and laser turrets, that kind of thing, like missiles. And you just went on a full frontal assault on the island, like fighting off like the Imagined Order, all the tanks, all the blimps. And that shot heading down, coming into the loop, is one of the nicest we have had in Fortnite history. And obviously, being the last major live event for quite a while, it was a pretty good note to leave it on. That's all I'm going to say for it. It was a really good live event. All right, we're in our final category, Mythic tier. And we're starting it off with the End live event, the original one. Something like this had never been done before. The game ended for 2 days straight. This event, it went down in the history books. For a single moment, everybody's eyes were on Fortnite. Seriously, this event brought the attention back to the game that Season X pushed away. It is such a good live event. I mean, you got the whole thing where it like rises up with that beautiful score in the background. Seriously, go watch it again. Take note of the music. I'm considering that into all of these event listings. Is the music of the event good? Yes, and I think this is the best score Fortnite has ever put out. How can I go without mentioning the game literally shut down for 2 days? It had never been done before in history, like in video game history. I remember bawling my eyes out thinking Fortnite was over. I was only like 11 years old when this event happened. Yeah, boom, I probably made you feel all ancient. This is one of the best events in Fortnite history. Okay, and I know I'm gonna get slandered for putting this one ahead of the original End event, and it is almost certainly recency bias. It is Fortnite Chapter 6 finale, 0 hour. There was like so much going on in this event. I mean, there were so many callbacks to the entirety of Chapter 6, and that's what I like in events. You know, because it just makes it feel like it wasn't like chucked in for the sake of being chucked in. It made the collabs in that season make sense. It made them feel worthwhile. Honestly, I think this is one of the best events we've ever had. And of course, the reintroduction of the entire Fortnite lore, I think that got everybody hyped. You didn't even need to know the lore to get hyped about the lore. There's only one thing stopping it from being the best, and that is I think it didn't properly explain how we got to Chapter 7. Now, obviously, if you read into it, obviously the 0 point shard took everybody to Chapter 7 at the end. That's what that whole black hole thing was about. That is my only concern with this event. Other than that, it was super cool. It made the collabs make sense, and that's why it's all the way at the number 2 spot. But I'm guessing you're all wondering, what's at number 1? And sitting up there all the way at the top of the list, it is the Chapter 2 End event. Now listen, same as the last list I made, you can definitely swap the top 3 around, but this is personally my favorite event of all time. It was the conclusion of almost 2 years worth of story with the whole setup of the cubes in Chapter 1. Do I even need to mention that shot? That beautiful, beautiful shot of the island like flipping, you're sat in the ocean. It is one of the most stunning visuals in Fortnite history. Of course, you had it completely blindside people. They were expecting 2 more seasons in Chapter 2. I mean, obviously, we're used to like 1 year chapters at this point, but back then, people fully thought there was more of Chapter 2 to happen, so this was completely out of the blue. You just had to be there. You just had to be there. Seriously, you might think different, but I think this is the best event the game has ever had. And that is why it's sitting all the way at the number 1 spot. Alright everybody, that's the end of the ranking. Thank you all so much for watching. I just want to take a moment to thank you all so much for the insane amount of attention my last video got. Seriously, it absolutely means the world to me. If you want to see me do more casual stuff like gameplay, stuff like that, leave a comment down below. But seriously, all of your love means the world to me. We recently just hit 250 subscribers, which is incredible to me. It was only a month ago I was celebrating 100. I actually cannot believe all of the support I've been getting. Make sure to join my Discord server. We can have links in bio now. Thank you so much. We have links in bio. There's a link in my YouTube bio. Should send you over to my Discord channel. Hey, but you know what? Just enjoy yourselves. Have a fantastic day. Drink some water. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.